Hi, it's great to see you again. Let's go ahead and take out our SDLMI-R phase tracker. Today, we are going to continue thinking about your action plan to work towards your reading goal that you set. That means that we are going to continue with the SDLMI-R Phase 2 Take Action. Let's review two important ideas that we talked about last lesson. Do you remember what they were?
They were challenges. We learned about challenges.
Yes, fantastic. Great job remembering. And so last time we talked about barriers. A barrier is anything that gets in the way of you reaching your goals. A solution is how a barrier, challenge, or problem is fixed or solved. Remind me, why is it important to think about our barriers to our goal and a possible solution?
So if you're playing too much Minecraft and you also want to read, then read a Minecraft graphic novel if you have one.
Yeah, that's a fantastic solution to that barrier. Really good thinking. Sometimes there are challenges or problems that get in the way of us taking action to reach our goals. So thinking about possible solutions in advance will help us remove these barriers. There are 3 words that I want to talk about. These are important words to know when creating an action plan. The first word is goal. We talked a lot about goals already. A goal is something you set out to do or something you work to make happen. Next, we have plan. A plan is a detailed set of steps for doing or achieving something. I'll share an example of a plan that I've made. When I was going on a family road trip, we had to think about what time we needed to leave to start driving, what we needed to bring with us for the trip, how long it would take for us to get to our destination, and where we wanted to stop for food and gas along the way. These details helped me make a plan for my road trip. Have you ever made a plan before?
We've made a plan so we could eat at this place at Disney World, and we planned our ride because it was raining really hard at the test tracks, and there was one of those outside and inside rides, so we chose to go on a few rides and then go back to see if it was open.
That's awesome. So you went to Disney and you thought about a plan on what rides you wanted to ride and the food that you were going to eat? That's awesome. That's a really good plan. That sounds like a fun plan. All right, so we know that plans are steps to helping us do something successfully. Our last word is progress. Progress is taking steps that move you closer to reaching your goal. When thinking about progress you are making towards your goal, you might think about how well you are doing. So remember, our goal attainment scale can help us with this. Today, we are going to work on putting together your action plan. That means we need to think about your reading goal, your plan or steps to reaching this goal, as well as when you will take action. Before we do this, I want us to take a moment to look at your goal attainment scale. So let's find it in here. Oh, here it is. So remember, this scale is used to help us think about the progress that you are making towards your goal. It helps us keep track of your goal chasing. So I want you to think about, have you done anything last week or this week that helped you work towards your goal?
I read chapter books by reading one chapter every day after school and on the weekends in my room.
That's awesome, fantastic. So you've been reading those chapter books on your own. That's really good. And so I want you to think about what you've been doing. So you said you've been reading chapter books each day. How would you rate yourself on the goal attainment scale? And so remember, these different levels represent what it would look like to reach your goal, didn't quite reach your goal, or surpass your goal. So what do you think? Do you think you're at a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 with your goal?
I think I am at a 5.
You think you're at a 5? That's fantastic. That's really good. And so that means you're doing much more progress than expected. And so remember, no matter where you fall on your goal attainment scale, it is a-okay because you always have more chances to learn and improve. And we're going to continue to check in on your goal attainment scale to keep track of your progress. To create an action plan, we need to think about a few things. What is my goal? What is my plan, or what steps should I take? What is my time frame? When will I take these steps? And how will I track or self-monitor my progress? To answer our answers to the SDLMI-R Phase 2 questions give us all the information that we need to create an action plan to work towards our goal. I bet you know how Sky created an action plan, right? Let's see how she put together her answers to the 4 questions in Phase 2. On this activity page, Sky organized all the information about her goal, plan, time frame to carry out her plan, and how she will keep track of her progress. We're going to focus on the first 3 parts today. We're going to focus on goal, plan, and time frame. First, Sky looked at her goal statement that she had written before. Remember, Sky's goal is to improve her multiplication math fact fluency by practicing at her desk during quiet independent work time each day using flashcards. She recorded this on the first section of her action plan. Then Sky thought about her plan, or the steps she wanted to take to reach her goal. She looked back at the activity page she completed to answer question 1. Sky had asked her teacher if she had an extra set of cards, and she didn't. So she knew that getting flashcards had to be the first step in her plan. One of the possible barriers that Sky identified was that she did not have any multiplication flashcards to use if her teacher didn't have an extra set. Her solution for this barrier was to either ask her parents to buy some multiplication fact cards or make them herself. Another one of her barriers was that she might get easily distracted during the time when she would be practicing. Her solution was to clear off her desk beforehand, and this seemed like an easy step that she would be able to take. Using this information, Sky was able to make her plan. She decided that first, she needed to get flashcards to practice. She'll ask her parents if she can buy some, but if they cannot, she can make some on her own. She knows that her teacher gives them 20 minutes for independent work time each day, so she will go through the flashcards as many times as possible during this time. And she's going to make sure to clear up her desk before she practices. Then Sky thought about the time frame for this plan. She knew that she wanted to start working towards her goal right away. She will need a few days to complete the first step of her plan. Get a set of flashcards. Then she decided that she will start the second step of her plan, practicing each day next Monday. This gives her some time to get the flashcards before setting a time to practice. Sky has shown us how she was able to think about her goal, her plan, and time frame. Now it's your turn to create an action plan. Let's take a look at our next activity page. Remember, we are only going to answer the first 3 parts on the activity page today. We'll use information from some of the activity pages we've completed in previous lessons, and I will record your answers. First, let's record your reading goal at the top of our action plan page. Let's look back at activity 20 and read your goal statement. So let's take a look at your goal statement, and I'm going to have you read it to me. All right, what is your goal statement?
I will read chapter books by reading one chapter independently each day after school in my room.
Fantastic, that is a great goal. I'm going to go ahead and record that in the first part of your action plan goal. All right, awesome. Now we have your goal statement written down. Next, let's think about your plan. What are the steps that you will take to reach your goal? We will use the pages for activity 22, what steps can I take? And activity 23, barriers and solutions. The information here will help you decide what actions to take. So let's go ahead and take a look at these activity pages. And we're going to think about your plan. So, what did you decide you could do today?
Ask my family if I can buy a new chapter book or go to the library.
Awesome, fantastic. And then what did you decide you could do this week?
Get a new chapter book and start to read it.
Awesome. And then what about in the future?
Read an entire chapter book series.
Awesome. Those are some really good steps. So what do you think? If you're trying to read a chapter each day in a chapter book, what could be your first step of your plan?
I could ask my family if I can buy a new chapter book or go to the library.
That's awesome. That's a really good first step. So let's go ahead and record that. So step number 1 for you is going to be ask my family to buy a chapter book, or if that doesn't work out, you can go to the library, right? Now, I want us to take a look at some of your barriers and solutions, and maybe this will help us think about your next step. So let's look at your first barrier.
Having other things to do after school instead of reading.
Yeah, and the solution that you came up with was to
Find other times to read, morning before bed.
Yeah, fantastic. And then another barrier that you might face is
Sometimes I cannot find the chapter book that I am reading.
awesome. And what was your solution for that?
I just put my book in my backpack when I am done reading.
Awesome. And then the last barrier you might face is
I would rather play Minecraft than read.
and then what was your solution for that?
Play Minecraft when I finish reading my chapter.
Awesome, fantastic. Those are really good ideas. So step 1 for your plan, we decided was to get a chapter book, right? Whether you buy it or go to the library, What do you think your second step could be?
I could, if I cannot find the book that I'm reading, I always have to put in my backpack when I am done reading.
Fantastic. So we're going to focus on making sure we have a solution to not being able to find your book once you get it, right? So our step 2 could be, we could say, read my chapter book. And we're going to remember to always put it in your backpack after you're done reading. That is a fantastic plan. Really good thinking. So now let's think about the time frame for you to carry out this plan. When will you take action? So when do you think you will be able to maybe get a book?
I think I might be able to get a book like on the weekend.
Awesome. So you could start that on the weekend. And then when do you think you could start reading that book?
Every time after school.
That's fantastic. That's really good. So I'm going to write that down. That is a really good time frame, really good thinking. And so you have some really good ideas here for your action plan, and I can't wait to see how this plan helps you. Great job today. Now that we have finished phase 2, we have a lot of important details, including your action plan. We talked about your goal, your plan, and time frame. And these are all important parts of goal chasing. And so you have answered student question 8, when will I take action? So let's go ahead and put a check mark or cross out number 8 on your SDLMI-R base tracker. So you can go ahead and cross out number 8. Awesome job, really good job. Next lesson, you are going to decide how you will measure progress on your action plan. Let's add a sticker to your goal chaser chart for today's lesson. And so your sticker, you can place it right here. It's gonna go right there on that star, and that means you get a prize today. Fantastic job.